Assalamu alaikum students. I hope that all of you are fine. Today we are going to start another paper one that is October-November 2024 for O levels economics 2281. Let's start with the first MCQ. The first MCQ is which economic question is least likely to arise as a result of scarcity, or you can say scarcity. So least likely, first of all we need to know that what are the economic questions. So the economic questions are what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. What, how, and for whom. It means A, B, and C. These are the options which we know that the economy is concerned about, these three questions. But when to produce, we don't know. We haven't discussed anything about this. So it means that is the least likely to arise as a result of scarcity. So here what I'll say that answer D would be the correct answer. Moving to the next one. What is opportunity cost? So opportunity cost is next best alternative foregone. So we know the definition. So just look at the definition where it is written. Next best alternative foregone when making an economic decision. So here D is the correct answer. It's not at all difficult. Not at all. Okay, moving towards the next one. What it says. The diagram shows a production possibility curve for an economy that produces two goods X and Y. Which point shows the greatest opportunity cost of producing one more unit of X? So, first of all, we know that there are three mainly points A, B, and C on the production possibility curve. Now, we have to decide among these 3 points. For an extra unit of Y, how much greatest opportunity cost for, look, this we are foregoing Y for an extra unit of X. Again, this we are foregoing Y for an extra unit of X. Now look at this arrow. This is small arrow and this one is a bigger distance. From B to C, it's more distance, vertical distance as compared to A to B. So it means that for producing one more extra unit, that is C, we are foregoing more of B. So C would be the correct answer. देखें आप A to B प्रोड्यूस करें हमने कम छोड़ा है, लेकिन जब B से C पे जा रहे हैं एक ही एक्स्ट्रा यूनिट प्रोड्यूस करें, बट B से C पे जाने के लिए we are foregoing more of Y. So that is why we are going to say that B to C, or you can say that C is the point where for producing one more unit of X you are foregoing more of Y. So that is why this is the greatest opportunity cost which we are foregoing. That is an opportunity cost, right? Now moving forward to number 4. Number 4 is a period of bad weather leads to a failure of rice crop. What is the effect on the market for rice? Okay, now it's not a price factor, right? It's a non-price factor first of all. Then we need to know that okay, it will either create a shortage or a surplus. Now, a bad weather condition lead to a failure of the rice crops. What is the effect on the market for the failure? When there is a failure on the rice crop, it means there is going to be a shortage of something, that the supply is going to decrease, right? And if there is a shortage, look, this is a demand supply diagram. Here we are going to write price. Always remember to mention the excess, and here it is quantity. This is an equilibrium one. So shortage, where demand is where demand is more than the supply. So where demand is more than the supply, that is known as shortage. So due to weather conditions, supply is going to fall. When the supply is going to fall, it means the prices are going to rise. So there will be shortage of rice and the prices are going to rise. So this B would be the appropriate answer for this MCQ. Number 6 is the diagram shows a change in demand for coffee. Okay, so it means we can clearly see that the demand is going rightward. Okay, here we can see that demand is going rightward. So a good coffee harvest, a rise in price of substitute drink, yeah, might be because yes, supply का concept है. This could be because if the price of substitute increases, people are going to demand coffee rather than tea if tea is the substitute for that. A rise in the wages हैं तो it will again affect supply, so it means ये भी नहीं होगा. Then moving towards a successful advertising campaign for the tea, it means the people are going towards tea, तो वो coffee की demand कम करेंगे. But there here are increasing the demand for coffee. Demand for coffee is shifting rightwards, so yes, this B would be the correct answer for this MCQ, that is a rise in the price of the substitute drink. Next, the table shows the supply for the product at different prices. Okay, we can clearly see that the prices are increasing and the supply is also increasing. If the price changes from 12 to 14, it means we need to focus this one, right? What will be the change in supply? So supply is going to change by 40 units from 160 to 200. So, and 40 units here and 40 units are coming here, right? Now, we need to see this, either it is contracting, okay, extending, right? So here we can see that this supply is increasing. When it is increasing, so it is extending, not contracting. So yes, C would be the correct answer for this MCQ. I hope that you are understanding this concept. Okay, moving forward to the next MCQ, that is again related to the market equilibrium. Which changes would move the equilibrium in demand from X to Z? Okay, either this demand curve is going towards right or the supply is going towards left. Okay, or these two, because for coming over here we are going to mean simply what I have done, I have just plotted that supply is going left and demand is going to increase. Now I am looking here. Okay, the demand is going to increase, the increase in demand, from these two I have to choose one, and the supply is going to decrease. When the supply comes shift towards left, so it is going to decrease. So here decrease in supply. So yes, again C is the correct answer. Next MCQ, and that is related to the elasticity of demand. When the price of the shirt rises from $8 to $10, the demand for the shirts fall from 1,000 to 500. What is the value of price elasticity of demand? So it's just asking either it is greater than 1, unitary, less than 1, or 0. So we need to see that percentage change in quantity demanded to percentage change in price. What's the formula? Percentage change in quantity demanded. This is the price elasticity of demand formula, divided by percentage change in price, right? So for this we know that percentage change in quantity demanded means the difference between the demand divided by original. So the difference in demand is 500. I am ignoring this negative sign, right? Divided by 1000 original. Whole divided by the change in price, that is 2 divided by 8. So here what will come? 500 divided by 1000 is 0.5 and 2 divided by 8 is 0.25. So answer will come equals to 2. Right? So here what I'll say that the elasticity of demand would be greater than, it would be greater than 1. Yes. So A would be the correct answer for this 8th MCQ. Okay, up till 8 we have seen that these are questions related to demand, supply, market equilibrium, opportunity cost, basic economic problem. All the questions, all the MCQs are related to that particular economic concept. Now we are moving toward the third chapter that is related to external cost, internal cost, and like that. Okay, a government intends to build a new international airport in an area of outstanding natural beauty. What would be the external cost of this decision? The cost of importing construction material, the enjoyment lost by those unable to use the countryside, the increase in the profit, the wages paid. No, this is the internal cost, right? This one is the profit, so this is not a cost. The wages paid is also an internal cost, so this would not be the answer. The enjoyment lost by the, because they are asking about the external cost. So external cost is what the other people can do from it. So external cost is the enjoyment lost by those unable to use the countryside. So here B is the correct answer. Moving toward the 10th one, what is the important role of the central bank? Attempt to achieve price stability, okay, issue credit card, provide loans to the producer, provide saving account for the consumer. For me, I believe that this would be the answer because the central bank is the bank of the government and this is the aim of the government to achieve that, right? For me, it's A, but let's see why the other are not. The others are not because B, if issue credit card, commercial can also, bank can also do this. They can also give loan to the producer. They can also provide saving account to the consumer. So these are all can be done by the commercial bank. But this one is the aim of the macroeconomic government, right? Macroeconomy. So that is why, and the central bank is the bank of the government. So price stability is the correct answer for this MCQ. Heading towards how would a change in demand for labor affect the labor market in an occupation? Okay, so how would a change in demand for labor affect the labor market in an occupation? Means that there is a change in demand for labor, either decrease or increase. We have to see that which one is going to be the correct answer for this MCQ. Change in the equilibrium wages, change in the quantity of the labor supplied. Okay. Change in demand for labor. If the labor demand decreases, then it means that change in the equilibrium wages are going to decrease. Change in the quantity of the labor supplied. As the wages are decreases, so supply are also going to decrease because labor would not be willing to work on the lower wages, right? No, so A is not the answer. If there is a decrease in labor demand, change in the wages. If there is a change, a demand change their labor demand. If the labor demand is decreasing, अगर labor की demand कम हो रही है तो उनकी wages क्यों increase करेंगी भाई? Increase ही नहीं करेंगी. यहीं से हम कह देते हैं this is not the correct answer. If there is an increase in labor demand, labor की demand बढ़ रही है तो उनकी wages कम क्यों होंगी? No, this is not the correct answer. Next, change in the demand for labor. If the demand for labor is going to increase, so it means that the wages are going to increase. When wages are going to increase, so they are willing to supply more labor. So yes, these all are the correct ones and matching with each other. So here D would be the correct answer. Number 12 is a fast food multinational bought a food ordering website in order to allow the multinational's customers to download menus and make advance payments. Which term best describes this merger? Okay, so here are the types of the merger and we need to discuss that which merger is. Again, a fast food multinational bought a food ordering website. Okay, so in order to allow the multinational customer to download menus and make advance payments. So a fast food that is going to buy a food ordering website. So it is moving forward, not the backward. So when it is moving forward, a way ahead, so that it would be a forward vertical merger, right? So C would be the correct answer for this MCQ. Next. Okay, number 13 is the diagram shows the average total cost for the firm in the long run. This ATT one is shifting towards ATC2. It is shifting towards left. Okay, or you can say that the average total cost is going to decrease. So what is the cause of this shift? Difficulty in controlling the firm? No, agar difficulty hoti to it is going to decrease, so this is not the answer. External economies of scale? Yes, it could be the answer. Managerial economies of scale? Yes, it could also be the answer. Technical economies of scale? Yes, it also could be the answer. But these three can't be the answer. The answer would be only one. But what would it be? We need to think about it. So, as the curve is shifting, so it means that the shift is due to the external factors, not the external factor. If there is a managerial economies of scale, technical economies of scale, these are the internal, not the external. If there is an internal change in the cost, it is going to be a movement along the curve. But this is because of the external economies of scale. So yes, B is the correct answer for this MCQ. Moving towards the next one. What is most likely to encourage capital-intensive production method in low-income countries? Okay, first of all, we need to know that what is capital-intensive production method. Capital-intensive production method is one in the production of which capital is required more as compared to labor. And low-income countries are the developing countries, right? So they do not have that enough money so that they can buy the capital-intensive production. But what is the factor which can encourage them? Expensive capital equipment costs? Not at all. They cannot afford that. Grants from or foreign aid program? Yes, it could be that if they are providing us the money so we can buy a capital-intensive capital and use our capital-intensive production technique. Supply of low-cost labor? Now we are asking about the capital, so no labor at all. A shortage of highly trained supervisors? If there is a shortage, but we cannot afford the capital, how can we get it? So this is also not the answer. So the correct answer is B, grants for foreign aid programs. 15. A firm average revenue is $20 and it sells 1,000 units. What are the firm's total revenue and price of the output? A firm average revenue is 20. First of all, we need to find average revenue. Remember that the average revenue of the firm is equals to the price of the firm. and it sells 1000 units. So it means, what is the total revenue? So total revenue is equal to, every revenue means price, that is 20, and it is selling 1000 units. So price into quantity is this, and this. So it would be 20,000. Yes. So for this C would be the correct answer. Right? Okay, 16. A competitive industry becomes a monopoly. What is the most likely advantage for the consumer? Okay, a competitive industry becomes a monopoly. What is the most likely advantage for the consumer? So if there is a monopoly and there is going to be advantage for the consumer, is it means that it is going to produce on a large scale, and that was a competitive one. Consumer choice may increase. How? Now there is a monopoly, so no consumer choice. Economies of scale may reduce the prices. It might be because now they are going to produce on a large scale, so might be it can reduce the prices. Moving towards the next one, more goods may be produced. Why is it so? If they are producing only one product? No. Price may be set by the market forces. Never ever. Price are set by the market forces in perfect competition, not in the monopoly. So this would not be the answer. So here, yes, B is the correct answer. That is, economies of scale may reduce the prices. Moving towards the 17th one. What will cause real GDP to rise in the country? What will cause real GDP to rise in a country? Okay. Real GDP is nominal GDP minus inflation, right? Real is equals to nominal minus inflation, right? So what it says, what will cause the real GDP to rise in the country? We need it to rise. So when it is going to rise, if this nominal is rising, so everywhere is nominal is rising, but it says that nominal is rising faster than the inflation. If this is also rising, this is also rising, might be real GDP will not increase. It will only increase if this is increasing more than this increase, right? Nominal GDP is rising more than the inflation. So here unemployment, nothing to do. Nominal GDP has, or real GDP have nothing to do with unemployment. It has nothing to do with the population. It has to do with the inflation. Yes, nominal GDP minus inflation. If it is going more, means nominal GDP is rising faster than inflation, then it would be an increase in real GDP for sure. So 17 का B आ जाएगा answer. What is the money supply? Okay, the total quantity of foreign currency available within the economy? I don't think so. The total quantity of money available within the economy? Yes, it could be the answer. The total quantity of money issued by the central bank? No, because money supply can also be in the terms of grants. No. The total quantity issued by the commercial bank or within the commercial banks, obviously no. So it means the total quantity for the money available within the economy. Whatsoever it is, that would be the money supply of the economy. 19th. Which macroeconomic policy is most likely to achieve economic growth and price stability at the same time? Okay, macroeconomic growth and the price stability at the same time. Okay, so either it could be fiscal policy, import barriers, monetary policy, or supply side policy. Fiscal policy. If we want to grow, so government is going to increase government expenditure. By increasing government expenditure, when government expenditure are going to increase, money supply is going to increase. When money supply is going to increase, so it means prices are going to also increase. So there is no price stability. So this would not be the answer. Next, import barriers. If government imposes import barriers means more tariff. More tariff means increase in prices. So this would not be the answer again. Next, monetary policy. For monetary policy, government want to grow. Government will either increase money supply or reduce interest of rate of interest. So for the economic growth, right? So it will also have an impact on the prices, because we know that money supply and prices have a positive relationship. If money supply increases, prices are also going to increase because people are going to demand more. Right? How a channel works. We know that more money supply means people are having more money. People are having more money. It means they are going to demand more. When they are going to demand more, prices are going to increase. So this would also not be the answer. The last one is supply side policy. So supply side policy is, let's suppose I say that the government is investing on the education, or government is providing free training to the people. So yes, this is not going to affect the inflation and the economy is going to grow. So yes, D would be the correct answer for this MCQ. And for sure, this is the answer. Okay, what is the definition of economic growth? It is an increase in general level of prices. No, this is the definition of inflation. Sorry, an increase in the level of nation's output over time. Yes, we can say that this could be an increase in the level of total demand. If total demand increases, it means aggregate demand increasing. No, this is not the definition of economic growth. It is an increase in wages, interest. No, again, these are the factor prices. No. If the nation's output is increasing, if the national output, national GDP is increasing, it means that is economic growth. What is the cause of cyclical unemployment in recession? So remember, always remember that in cyclical unemployment is, okay, first of all, what do you have an idea that what is cyclical unemployment? Cyclical unemployment is due to the decrease in aggregate demand, right? As the aggregate demand of the product is going to decrease, so that would be a cyclical unemployment. Okay, so this decrease wouldn't be a permanent decrease. So ये दोनों तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं होंगे. So we need to look into these two. A temporary decrease, either in the demand for labor or in the supply for labor. So what I am saying that cyclical unemployment is due to a decrease in the aggregate demand. So decrease in the demand, aggregate demand for labor is known as cyclical unemployment in recession. So this is 21. Next, the table shows government expenditure and the revenue in the selected years. Government expenditure and the revenue. What might explain the change in the government budget over time? Here we can see this is an equilibrium budget. This is 600 and here it is 400. So deficit budget. And this is also budget deficit. But initially the budget deficit was 200. And now the budget deficit is 400. Okay, this is what I have got from this table. I haven't looked at the option or the question. Let's look at this. What might explain the change in the government budget over the period? A fall in dependency ratio. So it says that why it is going to be that government is going to spend more on the people, or somewhere it's spending more. A fall in the dependency ratio, if there is an increase in dependency ratio, then government can do this. No, this wouldn't be the answer. A fall in exchange rate, there is nothing to do with the exchange rate with it. An increase in cyclical unemployment. Let's suppose there is a cyclical unemployment and government need to come out from that unemployment. So government is going to increase expenditure and decrease the taxes. This could be the answer. An increase in real GDP. If the real GDP is increasing, then why the government is going to increase government expenditure? There is no need to do that. So here C would be the correct answer for this MCQ 22. Next, the table shows changes in economic policies for 4 countries A, B, C and D. Which country is most likely to following a policy of preventing deflation? Okay, they have to prevent deflation. Deflation means prices are decreasing. Now they have to prevent deflation. It means prices should be increased. And for the increase in prices, we know that the money supply and prices has a positive relationship. If you want that prices to increase, we need to increase the money supply. So we need to look from either C or D. So for increasing money supply, government is going to increase government spending. Yes, when government is going to increase government spending, or then money supply will increase and prices are also increased. And decreasing taxes, yes, when the taxes will decrease, people would be having more disposable income. So yes, that is also going to increase the money supply in their hand. This could be the answer. Looking at this, money supply increases, government spending increases. As taxes increases, that means that they are curtailing money to be with people's hand. No, we want the people to be having more money. So that is why this C would be the answer, where I am saying that more money supply, talking about the government expenditure, they want to do more expenditure so that the people can have more money, and less taxes. Again, they should be having more disposable income so that they can demand more. When they are going to demand more, prices are going to increase. So this will retaliate with the deflation. This will prevent deflation, right? Next, okay, Switzerland. Workers in Switzerland earn more on average than workers in Mexico. What is likely cause of this? Okay, now we need to look at that why the Switzerland worker are earning more than the worker in Mexico. The greater percentage of working in Switzerland work part-time than Mexico. This part-time doesn't give any justification for this one. The average worker in Switzerland is more productive. Yes, might be this could be the reason that they are producing more than the average worker in Mexico. Then C is the average worker in Switzerland pays more income tax than the average worker in Mexico. If they are paying more income tax, then why they are going to earn more? Not at all. It means that they are going to earn less. This could not be the option. The unemployment rate is higher in Switzerland. स्विट्जरलैंड में अगर अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट रेट ज़्यादा है, so what its link with the average earning of the worker? It is asking about the workers, not about the unemployed people. So we need to look about the workers, about the people who are working, not about the one who are not working. So here, yes, B would be the correct answer, that the average worker in Switzerland is more productive than the average worker in Mexico. 25th. The table contains detail on birth rate, death rate, and the net migration of several countries in a year. What could be concluded from the table? Australia, Brazil, Nigeria, and US. They have birth rate, death rate, and net migration. Okay, birth rate is 13, 7, and 850, 14, 6, and 30, 39, 12, and minus 300. The last one is 12, 8, and 4,500,000. What can be concluded from the table? Only one country, Nigeria, has decreasing population. Nigeria. No, it has increasing population. That is 39. Birth rate is highest. Then, the country with the lowest birth rate has the lowest death rate. The country with the lowest birth rate has the lowest death rate. No, the lowest death rate is with the Brazil. So this is not the correct answer again. Next, the country with the lowest death rate has the highest birth rate. The country with the lowest birth rate has, death rate has the highest birth rate. No, lowest death rate is with Brazil and highest birth rate is with Nigeria. No. The country with the lowest natural rate of increase in population was the US. The country with the lowest natural rate of increase in population was the US. So natural rate of increase in population, death rate is 8 and 12, so that is 4. This difference is obviously more than 4. This difference is again more than 4, and this difference is again more than 4. Yes, this would be the answer. That the country with the lowest natural rate of increase. Natural rate of increase means we need to, this is natural rate of increase, that is 12, and this is death rate. So we need to find the difference, right? To find the rate. So that is why to compare. And this net migration is artificial, and we are talking about the natural rate of increase in population, and that is the lowest one over here, which is just 4. So yes, D is the correct answer for this MCQ. Okay, which combination best describes the characteristics of high income country? So high income country means the countries who are earning high, whose GDP are high. So we need to look in these two. Human Development Index high, okay, both ka high hai. Then percentage of labor force in the tertiary sector. In the tertiary sector high, in the tertiary sector low. No, it's going to be high, because in tertiary sector this is low in the developing countries, not in the developed country. It is low in the low income countries, not in the high income country, right? So for this, high GDP per head, Human Development Index value is also high, and the percentage of labor force in the tertiary sector would also be high. So A would be the correct answer for this MCQ. Next, what might encourage international specialization between countries? Free trade, inefficiencies in production, not at all. Labor immobility, bilkul bhi nahi. Tariff, not at all. So the free trade, that would encourage specialization between countries. 28. A government wishes to stop the dumping of a specific imported good at a very low price. Which method of protection would be most effective? Apply an embargo to this good, devalue the currency, increase the interest rate, provide subsidies to the home producer for this good. Again, it wants to stop the dumping of the specific imported. They want to stop. When they want to stop, they should employ an embargo. An embargo means the complete ban on the certain product, on the import of certain product. So this would be number 29 is the price of the US dollar in terms of other currency is set by the forces of demand and supply. To what does this statement refer? Okay, so it's asking about the price of US dollar in terms of other currency. So that is an exchange rate. Okay, the price of currency in terms of other currency. So first of all, we need to look at the exchange rate. So here B and C refers to the exchange rate is set by the forces of demand and supply. So if it's set by demand and supply, it would be floating exchange rate. So yes, C would be the correct answer. What if it is B? Then it would be set by the government. If it is set by the government, then that would be B. But here it says that it is set by the forces of demand and supply, where the forces of demand and supply plays a vital role in the floating exchange rate for the determination of exchange rate. Last but not least, the diagram shows the value of currencies exports and imports of the goods over 5 years. So the empty ones are exports of the goods, and the gray area is the imports of the good. Between which 2 years did the country have an increase in the value of imports? Okay, increase 1 to 2 it is increased, 2 to 3 it is increased, 3 to 4 it is increased, and 4 to 5 it is decreased. So this 4 to 5 is not the answer, because here the value of import is going to decrease. What else? And an improvement is balance of trade. Balance of trade means difference between export and import, and there is an improvement. In everywhere exports are more than import, but here difference is this much, that is 5. Here difference is around 2. Here difference is 1. Here difference is from 30 to where? From 30 to, you can say it is again 5. And we do not need to think about it, okay, because we have already skipped these 2 years. Now what it says that between which 2 years? From 5 to 2 it has decreased, 2 to 1 it has decreased, the trade balance is decreased, 5 to 2 decrease हो गया, 2 to 1 decrease हो गया, but from 1 to 5 in these 2 years it has increased, right? So it's C, 3 to 4. In these 2 years we can clearly see that there is improvement in the balance of trade, that is the difference between export and import. Yes, this difference has increased, and the value of imports are, yes, these has also increased from the previous one. So C would be the correct answer. I hope that all of you have got it. You have clear understanding of it. If you have any issue, kindly feel free to ask me any question regarding this paper. Thank you. Stay tuned with me. Allah Hafiz, and best of luck for your paper, for your future. Allah Hafiz.